All right, so we've been getting a lot done outside here. Um, I don't know if you remember, but there was a tree here, and there was about a 70-foot pine over there. They are no longer a thing. We cut these down about 10 days ago when I'm recording this. Just been processing it into, you know, we've got shorter stuff here. We've got some stuff that I'm going to have to, kind of deal with because it's got multiple branches there. We've just been making piles of boughs and stuff. These will have to be burned because the wood's just not really useful. Being pine, there's not going to be a whole lot of use for this anyway. We've got the longer stuff here. We will try to use some of these poles around the yard for things. We're thinking to do teepees with beans or whatever. Beans and snow peas and stuff like that. Anything that's a vine, not necessarily bush beans, but vine beans. We're also thinking about making a little composting compartment area by just post hole digging and putting these in, kind of like a fort wall or something. If we walk over here, we've starting to get to the stuff here that's too heavy for me. Like, this I was able to move, but for reference, there's my size 10.5 shoe. So it's pretty big. There's a bunch of it. There's still some usable stuff down here that I will get to eventually, but it's mostly pinned by this. Like, there's these big ones here I want to get at. There's some over here I want to get at. Some over there. You get the idea. So if we move along over here, there's a pile over there too that we've kind of got going. That's again just going to be stuff that mostly gets burnt because it's pretty thin. We're just stacking those there temporarily, don't worry. So this is that mulch pile that's been aging for about 1.5 years now. So you can see it's doing all right on the breakdown. I mean, the particulate's pretty small now. Sorry for the mic getting blown out from the wind there. But, we've just got whatever. Everything you see that's moved here, where it was out to here, we put this in some of the beds the past few days. We'll get to those in a minute. Same thing over here. Kind of took this chunk out to get into the beds. We'll get in here and look at some of this. So yeah, we've got some action going on here. Getting a little breakdown. Obviously, there's some better breakdown. Obviously, it stopped in the winter for the most part. It still had a heat, but not enough to really matter. We're deleting that bush like we deleted the one next to it. This is an old fire pit I'm still reclaiming. Last year I grew a bunch of sunflowers here. Haha, the beds. So these are from Kevin Espiritu, Epic Gardening, here on YouTube. He's the U.S. distributor of these. They're Birdie's raised beds. This one we planted some spinach, kale, lettuce in yesterday because we're going to get rain the next 2 days. A little late on that because it's April, but whatever. This mulch will get brought to the side on these, and then I will add a little more soil to the top now that it's settled over winter. And then we'll go ahead and start planting our seedlings in those when it's the appropriate time. Again, it's going to rain in the next couple days, so I've just got this cocoa core here to kind of soak up some water lazily outside. These will obviously have soil mixed and put in them. These are the tall 6-in-1 beds, whereas these are the short 8-in-1s, and that's the short 6-in-1. They make a tall 8-in-1. I had ordered some, but they received the wrong cargo container, and I was just as happy to take these 6-in-1s because then I don't have to worry about them buckling. They do sell a reinforcement kit, so that's a thing, but I like the size of these better. So there's 2 of these right now, as you can see. I have 2 more on order, which we'll go over here. And then we'll keep, sheet mulching this area. We'll finish it off like we just did that yesterday. We'll go ahead and sheet mulch all this, get more mulch down on top of the cardboard, etc., so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, there's a look at things in progress. Sorry this video quality is not that great. This is literally the first time I'm using this DJI Pocket 2. I got a lot of learning to do, but I just wanted to get something done. Let me tell you about this mushroom real quick while we're out here. So, my paternal grandfather had a mushroom exactly like this, sitting in his yard. I mean, exactly the same. The mold is identical. He had this sitting in his yard when I was growing up, and I never really knew the story. He paid his way through college delivering ice blocks and mushroom hunting. And my father was always a big mushroom hunter, and so was my grandfather. And at my grandfather's funeral, my great uncle had stolen this from the house to give to me and told the story. Basically, my grandfather had gone out one day and had just terrible luck, finding mushrooms, whatever, morels especially, because that's what you mostly get here in the very early spring. And he just couldn't find any that year. So my father was a state police officer, and he was out on patrol, and he happened to drive by one of those concrete stands that sells these little statues and saw one of these and got it and put it in his yard and came over, and he's like, "Dad, do you have any luck with mushrooms today?" And he's like, no, I went out and didn't find any. And he's like, "How'd you miss this big one in your yard?" And put it between two pine trees. I have that in my office, and I sit there and look at it. And then when we bought this house, the first thing I bought for this house after the Hackers canvas movie poster that's in my office as well was one of these. And then I painted this and put it out here so I can keep the real one, or the family one, inside where it's safe, because it's quite old and the concrete's not doing very well. But I made this one and painted it, and it looks exactly the same. It doesn't have all the years of growth and weathering, but it's just a nice little thing. I can stand in the kitchen and look out and see something from my grandfather and father. Just kind of have a little family thing there. So I trimmed this tree last year too. I'm going to do the same to this one. We don't really care about them, but it does create a nice little privacy in the summer from like the kitchen windows and stuff from the road over here. So I'm going to leave this centerpiece, and I'll cut these other two side ones pretty soon. But yeah, it's a little update on our yard. Just wanted to get a video out. Got some more trimming over there to do, and gotta clean up that fire pit and stuff, and the daunting task of finishing that. But that's what's going on here. Expect more videos soon. Expect better quality videos. Expect to see my ugly mug. Just wanted to get a video up with this camera. Got my first Patreon subscriber. Wanted to get his name in the credits. Thanks, Jimmy. We appreciate it. Anyway, that's pretty much been it. Talk to you guys later.